about publicly, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys talk about it with your close friends. So this is just about radicalization, something that affects all of us, everyone here, including you guys. So I would like to begin by saying that let's be a little bit comfortable. You know, this is not a lecture from our panelists. This is more like conversational, so we can open it up for discussion and everything, you know. I would like to introduce the Kajok Executive Director, Mohammed Farah, and he has some things to share with you guys.
How's everyone doing tonight? My name is Mohammed Farah, and I'm the Executive Director for Kajok nonprofit. And I know most of you have heard Kajok previously, but we've got new faces tonight with us. And I kind of want to take a minute to talk about what this organization is about. As many of you know, the word Kajok is, it translates to, it's a Somali word to begin with. In English, it translates to stay away and stay out. And this actually complements the sole purpose of this organization, which is getting the youth, kids, away from all the negativity that surrounds them, whether it is youth violence, radicalization, and all the bad things that surrounds our youth nowadays. This is the 4th year that we're running, and hopefully we've got many more years to come. And we do, the mission of this organization is to motivate our youth, our kids, to attain higher education. Moreover, we raise multicultural awareness, health awarenesses, and we build community ties by providing conferences and events such as here tonight. Most of the events that we do are throughout the year. I'm sure many of you came to our last event. They focus on one topic, whether it is education, health, or an issue that's going on in our community. We try to touch some of the touchy subjects out there that needs dialogue, because to solve an issue, you gotta have dialogue. I know, all of us have differences in terms of fixing an issue, but us people, we always have a common ground, and that's where we like to focus and maximize the relationships in terms of building, in terms of resolving an issue. Because at the end of the day, Kajok is not about me, it's not about us or our volunteers. It's about all of you guys doing the right thing. It's all about us doing the right thing, so we can all look forward, because all of us are looking forward to a better, safe environment, not only for us, but for the leaders of tomorrow who are right next to you.
All of us had a very busy schedule today, and I'm sure you guys have all had a busy schedule today. I see some familiar faces in the crowd, some of my classmates and whatnot. Yeah. How's it going, T-Dub? We're gathered here today to discuss a very critical issue within our community that not only affects the Somali community, but the outer-lying community as well, different ethnic groups and whatnot. And we've brought together the officials from different departments of our government and whatnot. And we have here the community, which is comprised of students, business owners, lawyers, doctors, whatever it may be, musicians even. I see you. But we're going to get right into it. The issue of radicalization is something that's affected the Somali community for quite some time now, I'm sure. You guys are aware of the students that have went back to East Africa to fight alongside extremist, radical groups. And it's saddening. I know I can speak on everybody's behalf by saying, these are people who were missed within our community. These are people who we feel that we could have done a little bit more. And these are kids who had potential, and some of them, as you know, were students at universities, colleges, within the Twin Cities. And just that opportunity that's been lost is really saddening, to all of us. What we're doing here today is taking the first step towards a solution for a problem that's riddled our community for a while. And the first, most important part of progressing towards a solution is creating an atmosphere where everybody can speak openly and discuss these issues in a very safe and comfortable fashion. Now, what we're doing is having a dialogue. So at this point, I just want to go ahead and say, if you guys, we don't want you to feel as if, you're down there, we're up here at all. This is we want to take a very collaborative approach to discuss this topic, because, it cannot be just one-sided. Because everybody within the community matters, and all your voices are just as loud as anybody here on this panel, in fact. So, with that said, we're actually going to have some brave volunteers go around and distribute flashcards. If you want to go ahead and write your questions on there, and then you can pose them. Or actually, we have 2 microphones. Gabriel right there. Go ahead and wave. All right. And then we have Sumaya over there. Go ahead and bow. I'm just kidding. but yeah, they're going to distribute some note cards and write your questions. But also, if you want to actually, voice your own questions, we have microphones right there and right there over there in the shadows. But with that said, I want to go ahead and pass it on to the panel. I want to start from over there with Bob Fletcher. I want to ask just the simple question of, well, not simple actually. What does radicalism mean to you? How does it affect you, the Somali community, and what can we do as a community and as individuals to find a solution to the problem? I'm going to go ahead and pass it on. Thank you.
Oh, you'll get a chance.
Well, my name is Bob Fletcher. I'm the former Ramsey County Sheriff, but I'm really here because I'm a friend of Mohammed and Abdi Phenomenal, those of you that know him on YouTube. Abdi Phenomenal, who just returned from Dadaab, and you just did a great thing, and thanks for your mission over there. It's been very meaningful. I came here to answer questions and to add my perspective. I have been immersed into the Somali community now for a couple of years, and I've learned some things. Don't pretend to be an expert, but I think there are some misunderstandings about radicalization, and it would be helpful to air those out. Truth usually tends to bring people closer, and so hopefully this dialogue can cause that. There's no question today that Al-Shabaab has an extremely close connection to Al-Qaeda, and that if you research what has happened there in the last 2 years, you'll find that radicalization has turned into a very hostile form of militancy in Somalia, Kismayo and other parts in the south and western part of Somalia. It wasn't always that way. To be frank and to be candid, the roots of radicalization began back in the mid-'80s with the Wahhabist form of Islam getting its roots in the development of the AIAI, and later the Islamic Courts Union growing in Somalia during the Civil War. And frankly, we all have a lot to blame. A lot of blame to go around in that the Civil War in Somalia that went on after Siad Barre fell, of course, in '91, and even before that, caused so much chaos in the country that the roots of radicalism were allowed to grow. And it's that failure of the international community to stabilize Somalia that really is in part responsible for the environment we have there today. So having said that, of course, when Al-Shabaab formed in 2006 to drive out the last remnants of the TFG government, everything took a turn for the worse. But initially, as you know, to be fair to Al-Shabaab, it was to drive out the Ethiopians. As the Ethiopians invaded on Christmas Eve of '06, the call was jihad against Ethiopia, long before Al-Shabaab was declared a terrorist organization. But as time went on, of course, it became much more radical and much more tied to Al-Qaeda and much more extreme in their views, their beheadings, the amputations, the refusal to allow any women's rights whatsoever. And we could discuss at length, but the radicalism that we have today is slightly different than radicalism of the past, and it will continue to change and evolve. But I don't think there can be any dispute that young people that are recruited to go back to Somalia are harming themselves, harming their legacy of the Somali people. And there are great things going on in the Somali community. And let's not let these young people ruin their lives by being attracted by what is now clearly an Al-Qaeda connected organization. EK?
Good evening. My name's E.K. Wilson. I think I know many of you, but I am a FBI agent. I supervise one of our Joint Terrorism Task Force international terrorism squads here in the field, the Minneapolis field office. And one of our primary duties on my squad is to understand and mitigate international terrorism as it relates to the Horn of Africa. So the case that you're familiar with, Operation Rhino, as it's been called, the investigation of the young men that you're all familiar with that traveled back to Somalia, the individuals that facilitated that and that recruited and radicalized those individuals, all fall under my squad. We have been, I would say, for a few years now, deeply involved in many events like this, and that's how I got to know a great many of you and call many of you my friends, because there's some courageous leaders in this community that I respect greatly. When this case first came to the public in October 2008, we quickly understood that the relationships that we had in the Somali community here in Minneapolis, which were good. They were good relationships, and we would attend events, and we had several individuals that we knew well and that we could consider contacts of ours that would enable us to reach out to the Somali community. We quickly realized that was not sufficient. We were not doing a well enough job of letting people understand who we were and what we did, and we knew that there was a lot of misconception in the Somali community here in Minneapolis. So we have been trying to get out to more events like these. If you remember Ralph Bolter, my former boss, he was on Somali TV and Somali radio, and many of you I know got to meet him as well. He has since been promoted and got back to Washington, and his replacement is a new gentleman by the name of Don Oswald, who has not been here very long, but I'm sure you will get to meet him in the near future as well. He's embraced what Ralph has put into place. He feels the same way. He has a very good understanding of the challenges that you face as a community, of what we have accomplished so far in this ongoing dialogue and relationships that we're establishing. And I think I can't stress enough how important this is, not only to us, not only to the FBI, but to you as a community. To us, it's obviously important for us to let you know what it is that we do, what we don't do, clear up some of the misconceptions about the FBI, and let you know that the primary mission of the FBI is to protect the American public. And that includes all of you out there, it includes the entire Somali American community, and it includes all the citizens of the United States here and abroad. So that's our mission. That's what we're tasked with. We take it very seriously. But we also take very seriously the Constitution, of which All of you have civil rights. All of us as American citizens enjoy civil rights in this country. And we would not conduct any investigative activity, any operational activity without following the letter of the Constitution. Yeah, that's very important that everyone understand that. It's our primary policy. We have many policies and guidelines that we have to follow when we conduct investigations. The number one policy that we follow is the United States Constitution, and we'll never